3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone. Today we're taking a look at Kael'thas. This video is part of a series on my channel, so if you want to take a look at it, it's right there for you to see, okay? Well, for today we're going to be talking about Kael'thas, so let's just talk about a little bit of what he's supposed to be, right? So he's supposed to be a ranged damage dealer, but not really someone that can be basically melee range, because he has barely any health and he has no mobility, so he really much depends on his range to be able to do damage. So let's just quickly go through their abilities and see what they do for people who may not know. So your passive is the easiest one to explain first. It has a 6-second cooldown. It's basically an ability. You use it and then it makes your next basic ability do something extra. And it does not affect your ultimate ability though. So it's just your basic abilities. And let's just go through the abilities and see what they do. So your Q ability is called Flame Strike. So it's just an area of effect that after a delay you're gonna deal damage in that area. It has a fairly decent range, but later on in the game you're able to upgrade that, because that's gonna be your main damage ability in the game, so you really want to focus on that. And if you happen to use your passive on it, then you're able to increase the range of your AoE and also deal more damage with it. 50% to be exact of the radius and a little bit more damage. Actually quite a bit, but you usually want to use that with your passive. That is your main damage source. Unless you're poking, then you want to go with your W, which is called Living Bomb. So what it is it's not a skill shot, so you just target someone with it and they gain the damage over time. And after a little bit of time, the damage over time explodes and they will say AoE damage to the person around them. So it's actually fairly effective for poking. It's not a skill shot, so you just simply click on the person and it deals damage over time to them. So it's very strong while poking.
Choose a talent.
And let's see, the E ability is called Gravity Lapse. You throw a skill shot, and whoever hits first, they're knocked up in the air for a couple of seconds. It's actually 1.5? Yeah, 1.5.
Double kill.
And if you happen to upgrade it with your passive, then you can hit up to 3 people with it, which is fairly nice, but it's usually pretty rare for you to see 3 people in a line, unless there's a lot of people chasing you or chasing somebody on your team. Then you're able to upgrade it with your passive ability, and then be able to delay people with that. It's pretty good. So let's see what we grabbed here for talents. So talent points. Your first talent is completely up to you what you want to do with that. If you have something like a Malfurion, then you don't really need to worry about mana. But Kael'thas always has mana problems. Unless it's really early on in the game, you don't really need to spam your spells, so mana isn't really a problem. But later on in the game, when... Okay, so here's the problem. Kael'thas wants to poke. That's his main role in the team, is just to throw abilities out there over and over and over again. He's not a all-in champion. Or character, I'm sorry. And so later on in the game, you're going to be spamming your ability over and over again, which is your Flame Strike, because it's going to have a pretty good range. So you can do it safely from behind your team, just start using your Q, and that's going to drain a lot of mana over time. So I usually go for Mana Addict, even though this map is not very good for Mana Addict, because a lot of the time you're going to be in the mine, but it is pretty strong. So I usually go for that. The Healing Spheres is pretty good, it's decent. All these talents are actually pretty decent. Convection does a lot of damage, but you need to rely on your ability to deal extra damage. and that's usually not how you use it. So on paper it sounds very good, it really does, but your E has a travel time and your Q has a delay time on it, so it's really hard for you to get both of those off at the same time. Alrighty, so second talent, let's go through that real quick. There's really a lot of different ones. If you're gonna go for a push strategy, Mana Tap is pretty good, but since I grabbed Mana Addict on the first talent, I'm not gonna go for that at all. Gathering Power, actually on the last patch, Gathering Power got nerfed pretty hard, but if you're playing someone like Kael'thas, who's most likely not gonna die that much later in the game, if they don't have some really heavy assassin character, then you're able to take that. You're able to take Gathering Power, which is really strong. And Venom, not really that great. Again, you don't really want to be next to someone because that doesn't have the biggest range ever. So it's a pretty short range, and it does do a decent amount of damage, but if you're that close to someone, it's not good. It's bad news bears, okay? So no good. Gravity Lapse increase is decent, but the extra damage on your abilities is going to be much greater because, like I said, you're going to be like I'm doing right here, just staying in range, using your Flame Strike when available. And right now it doesn't, your Q doesn't really have that much of a range, but later on level, I believe it's 13, you're gonna get talent to upgrade that. And right now, we got to level 10. And level 10 is when Kael'thas starts being a little scary. So a lot of people usually get Pyroblast when they start off. It does do a metric ton of damage, I do have to say. But it's an ability which you have to stand still for 2 seconds, first of all, with someone who wants to stay in range. First of all, right here, I really messed up, but my Uther was able to save me right there. But yeah, anyways, Pyroblast. Yeah, you have to stand still for 2 seconds to cast that, first of all. If they walk out of range, then your 2 seconds are basically gone, and then your ultimate is put on a short cooldown. But it's really not good for you to stand still with this game. Especially if people have a lot of skill shots. They can just hit you with them because you're standing still for 2 seconds, which is not good at all. If you get hit by a stun, you're basically dead, so it's not the best. And I mean, compared, it's not bad. Here's the thing, it's not bad, but compared to Phoenix, who's gonna put a zone somewhere for the enemy to basically not want to step in, and also it's instant, so you're still able to walk around, get in range, and spam your other abilities. It's much greater. It really gives you a zone for you to be in, which is what you want with Kael'thas. So that's what most people go for. It's the Phoenix right there. But then again, if you feel confident in your team and you feel like you're not gonna get burst down in 2 seconds, then maybe Pyroblast isn't that bad. Ready? So right now, the objective is to take the skulls, which Kael'thas is pretty good at, but I'm just trying to soak experience real quick. Alright, we're gonna do a team fight right here. So you're gonna see I'm almost out of mana, but my main purpose was just to use my ultimate right there, and yeah, I do regen mana, so I'm able to just use my Q real quick. Real quick. And even if you don't have any mana, that's something that a lot of people mess up on, is that even if you're playing a mage like Kael'thas, you still have auto attacks, and they still do a reasonable amount of damage. So if you're out of mana, you're still useful in some way. So make sure not to just stirp out and not do anything. Alright, so level 13. I was able to upgrade my range of my Q, my Flame Strike, by 50%. 50% is a lot, because the range of Flame Strike's already okay. And with that upgrade, it's actually pretty crazy. The other upgrades are actually pretty viable too. Spreading your spreading your living bomb is very good. You just put it on a tank or something, and when the tank gets low in health, they run back to their team and then it explodes. So it can be useful. I'm not gonna say it's bad, but what most people do is they just want to be a ranged character who doesn't want to get caught ever and just keep doing damage over and over and over again. So Flame Strike helps a lot with that, so that's why people usually upgrade that. Again, Gravity Lapse. You're not really going to be in range to be using it that much. If you're going to be using it, it's going to be just to get someone off your face and then run away. So, not really a purpose to upgrade that. Alright, so let's take a look at level 16 talents, because Kael'thas used to be known for this one talent called Ignite, and it was here replacing some Fury to Sunwell. Fury to Sunwell didn't used to be a thing, and instead of that there was a talent called Ignite, which basically made your Flame Strike also apply Living Bomb. So whenever you hit someone with your Q, it was also going to apply a Living Bomb to every enemy hero that you hit. It was fairly insane. It was pretty crazy. So once Kael'thas hit level 16, most people just gave up, or they really needed to focus on, because that was a really strong talent. So they decided just to take that off completely and replace it with another talent, and they did it with Fury to Sunwell, which makes you cast another Flame Strike where you casted your Flame Strike after 1 second, which is decent. It's actually fairly decent. It gives you like, how can I say this? It gives you a zoning tool. Like, you can use it on top of one of your allies or the tank line, and there's usually a lot of fighting going around there, so if you use one Flame Strike there, they might get hit, someone might get hit, and then they're like, oh, Flame Strike's gone. So they run back in and they get hit by the second one, which is very good. So yeah, overall, that's probably what you want, unless you're going for a Living Bomb build, which is at the moment not really a thing. Then there's that. Arcane Barrier, not very good, for the reason that you want to be in range all the time and you don't want to be taking damage. Like right here, once I hit level 13, I'm not gonna get in range of the enemies. Basically, I'm just gonna get in range to Q, ultimate, and that's it. So you're gonna see right here, just trying to use my abilities and just trying to get away from the people basically after that. I mean, Malfear is not really a threat, so. And that's another thing, like, whenever you're not actually fighting, it's okay to mount up. Mostly because mounting up makes you get into a better Flame Strike position. So whenever your Flame Strike's on cooldown, I really recommend you guys mount up. It's so very good. It gives you position for your ease if you want to catch one person. You don't want to go in when there's a full team right there. Just when there's one person you want to like catch up to someone, then eat them real quick, so it's an easy catch. But yeah, I mean, this place in the game. First of all, the ultimate, as you saw right there, I just used it in the column, mostly because it has what, a 40-second cooldown? Yeah, 40 seconds. That is really short. Like right here, I'm just gonna go back to base, and once I'm back in lane, it's gonna be up already. So make sure just to use your ultimate whenever you feel like you need that extra damage, just to do something quick, right? Don't be scared of that. It's really not good just to hold into your ultimate. Alrighty, so we're level 17, and we're going to defend right here, even though we should have pushed, but we really didn't feel like pushing this time for some reason. Somebody called for it. We made the mistake of defending. And if you're wondering what rank this is rank 1 right now. So people are fairly... They know what to do in this rank, but we kind of just messed up right here. And let's see, we're gonna get kind of close to level 20, so I'll just go over that real quick. There's a lot of options here. Repositioning your rebirth is not really that great compared to the other options. It's not bad, but the other options are so much better that you want to do that, which is basically just one thing: Bolt of the Storm. Because when you hit level 20, it's already late game, right? Okay, I'm gonna talk about that after the team fight because it's a lot of things going on. So right here, I'm just trying to stay back and trying to use Flame Shark right there. See how it zoned out one of the teammates right there? Like the second Flame Shark is really good. Like right now, it's zoning them pretty quick. I don't know what our tank is doing, but oh well. Yeah, it's very good. I mean, the range is really dumb, and it zoned people out too. So. Fairly good, fairly nuts. Look at that range. Like, did you see that? That's pretty insane. Yeah, your objective, your whole reason for you to be in the team is just to poke from the distance. You deal a lot of damage from that. Then again, whenever you can, whenever you're not in... Actually, whenever your Q's on cooldown, basically, you just want to mount out. Like, I'm really serious about that. You just want to mount whenever your Q's on cooldown. Because you can get away faster if someone's chasing you. And you can get a better position to Flame Strike. So, make sure... That's my one... If you're gonna take anything from this video... If you wanna be like, oh man, I'm ranked 40 or something and I can't... I always get caught or something. Just go for a build that allows you to abuse your range, and whenever your Flame Strike's on cooldown, just mount up. Right here there's a little hard because there were little minions hitting me, and your mount does go on cooldown if you get hit, so just make sure that you're not getting hit when you start casting your mount. But yeah, if you're gonna take anything from this video, just mount up whenever your Q's on cooldown. And you're in an okay position. Alright, so right now we're just cleaning up the team real quick. Nothing wrong with that. Just gonna get the little guys since I know they got Malfurion. Alright, so let's talk about level 20. Right, so like I said, Rebirth is good because you're able to reposition your Phoenix and it lasts longer. But here's the idea, right? Level 20, it's late game. And the later on you go in the game, the higher your death timers are. That you can see right here. We killed their team and they're still dead for a while. So you really don't want to die late game. And what helps you with that is Bolt of the Storm. Because if you do for some reason get caught, you're able to just Bolt through the Storm out and not lose the game. Because a lot of times when you die in late game, there's a really high chance you're going to lose the game because your death timers are going to be huge. So Bolt of the Storm is really good for that. So please practice that. It's only a 70-second cooldown. It's insane. The range is really big, so just really get used to it. Especially if you're a League player, you know that a similar spell like this is going to have a really long cooldown and a shorter range. So having Bolt of the Storm is just insane. Yeah, let's see what happens here. We're seriously just pushing with a golem. We got a really strong golem, and this really highlights what Kael'thas does, because I just get barely in range to cast my Q, and just try to just stay out of problems. That's what I'm trying to do right here. And you can see the second activation of Flame Strike goes off, and does a lot of siege damage. So right now, just trying to zone people. That's basically what I'm doing. I flashed in just because I was cocky. I shouldn't have done that. But it was fun. Oh well. Alright. So there was one thing I was going to talk about. Let's see. Okay. So you can really see right here how strong this guy is, and let's just quickly go through the damage that will dealt. So you can see someone like Sagara, like at this point of the game, you're even doing way more siege damage than them by not even really targeting structures that much, but by you placing those AoEs, a lot of the times they're close to their structures because people wanna. Let me take away that real quick. And the enemies want to be close to their structures, so a lot of times you just still damage the structures by just AoEing around them. So you deal a lot of siege damage as well. And also make sure that if you're pushing somewhere, don't hold on to your ultimate. Just put it down. If it is just to some people, if people run away from your ultimate when you're pushing, like when you're pushing the base, then your ultimate's gonna do damage to the towers. So it's really not wasted at all. It's gonna zone them and it's gonna do damage. So it's a win-win pretty much.
Your world is upside down. Your enemies fall before you. Rebellion strike.
Alright, very good. You can see right there, just using flame threat to just make him run away. It's fairly good. Again, flame threat. See what I did right there? I placed it so that it will kill that guy, and he will also deal damage to the structures. So it's very, very good. It's a little insane. Alright, great. So yeah, you guys can really see the advantage of having the Kael'thas in your team. It's so good, and I'm still sure that even with the changes, he's still gonna see a lot of competitive play, and he's still one of the most viable mages out there to see in solo queue as well. So make sure to try him out, and remember that don't be scared to play a guy like this. It's fun. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, again, and make sure to watch the other videos on my channel if you want to see more of this stuff. Okay. All right. Take care, you guys.